Have you ever been working at your computer and then suddenly no internet? You're connected, but nothing's loading. So your brain kicks into troubleshooting mode. Is the modem down? Is the router acting up? Is it your computer or device? Or did your cat crawl under the desk and unplug something again? Most of the time, the internet just works. You don't have to think about it. But when it doesn't, everything slows down and you're stuck trying to figure out what changed. And for a lot of businesses, generating leads and inquiries is starting to feel the same way. And what I mean is, the leads used to come in, the phone used to ring, you're still doing the same marketing and promotional things that used to work, but lately the momentum's been fading. You're getting fewer inquiries and fewer responses. And then it hits you. Something has shifted. Something feels off. So in this video, we're going to unpack where things might be breaking down, and we'll look at 3 critical areas that rarely get talked about but could be the real reason your leads have slowed down. So let's start with the obvious one that somehow still gets ignored. You might not be getting enough traffic. I know that sounds basic, but if you're not getting eyeballs on your site or your social media or your YouTube channel or wherever your message lives, then nothing else really matters. You could have the most compelling offer in the world, the best video, a beautifully designed website, but if no one sees it, you're invisible. The thing is, a lot of business owners assume they're getting traffic because they're online, but assumption is dangerous. What you really need is measurable, observable data. You've got to know how many people are visiting your site, where they're coming from, and how long they're sticking around. And not to be a data nerd here, but you can't solve a visibility problem if you don't realize you have one. And even if you are getting traffic to your various digital properties, is it the right kind of traffic? 1,000 random visitors won't help you if they're just clicking around and not actually looking for what you have to offer. That kind of traffic might make your numbers feel good, but it doesn't move the needle. What you need is qualified traffic, people who are actively looking for your service or solution. So before you tweak your offer or before you redesign your homepage, do you have enough of the right people actually finding you? If the answer is no, that's where you start. You need to connect with warm bodies who actually are interested in what you do. But if the traffic is coming in and things still feel stuck, the next thing to look at is how your business is being perceived. So let's say you are getting traffic to your website, your social profiles, your content, and it's the right kind of traffic. But when they land on your stuff, something just doesn't click with them. It might not be anything dramatic, but these days, people make snap judgments based on how something looks or feels, often within seconds. Sometimes it's a trust issue, sometimes it's a clarity issue, or sometimes they're just not feeling it. Here are some of the most common perception issues I routinely see. Your messaging is vague or confusing. Your design feels outdated, cluttered, or amateurish. Your site does not clearly explain what you do or who you do it for. Or maybe you're lacking the human element, like no photos or no videos or no personality. There are no trust signals, no testimonials, no social proof, no case studies or real-world examples. Or maybe you don't have anything that signals modern credibility, like a well-produced welcome video or even a simple AI chatbot people can interact with. Today's buyers are skeptical. They've been burned. They're scanning for signals that give them confidence they can trust you. So if your traffic is solid, but the inquiries just aren't coming, it might be time to take a fresh look at the image you're projecting and how your message is being received by people on the other end. Now, let's say you are getting traffic and your site or content feels trustworthy, looks modern, and communicates clearly. But the phone still is not ringing and your inbox is empty. This is where things get a little uncomfortable because sometimes the real issue is demand. In other words, people are just not actively looking for what you're offering right now, or perhaps ever again. Not because you're doing anything wrong or you're no longer good at what you do, but the way people shop and research and make decisions, that has changed. Maybe your service is no longer seen as urgent or relevant. Maybe a cheaper or more convenient alternative is now available. Or maybe the problem you solve just is not top of mind anymore. For example, a dermatologist who once built their practice around removing moles and treating basic skin conditions might now be pivoting towards high-end med spa services like Botox, fillers, and laser treatments, because that's where demand and revenue has shifted. Same core skill set, but now tailored to a very specific high demand audience. So if demand has dropped for your specific service, even great marketing won't fix it. Here's how you know it might be a demand issue. You're getting traffic and people are sticking around, but they're not reaching out. Even when you lower your prices or add extra value, people still hesitate. You check the data and hardly anyone is even searching for your offer anymore. And this is tough because everything else could be dialed in. But if the demand simply isn't there, it's like fishing in a lake that's been fished out. This does not mean you're irrelevant and you're no longer good at what you do. It just means the market may no longer value your offer in its current form. So when you hit this wall, it's time to experiment. That might mean repackaging your services into a smaller, lower risk offer, or focusing your message on a different problem that's more urgent or a different niche altogether. For example, like a personal trainer who's no longer attracting general fitness clients, they might shift their focus to helping people get in shape for a big life event, like looking and feeling their best before an upcoming wedding, or creating routines specifically for people over 65 who want to stay mobile. Same skill set, just a new framing. And sometimes that's all it takes to tap into fresh demand. So if business has gotten quiet lately and leads and inquiries are down, it's easy to assume it's your fault. But often the real underlying issue comes down to one of three things. First, traffic, not enough of the right people finding you. Second, perception, they're finding you, but something's causing hesitation. Or third, demand, the market just is not actively looking for what you offer right now. Once you can spot which one of these is holding you back, it becomes a lot easier to make smart adjustments that actually move the needle instead of just messing around with things like button colors, which rarely make a meaningful difference, but it lets people feel like they're doing something. Now, earlier in this video, I mentioned how adding a high-quality welcome video to your homepage can instantly boost trust and credibility. And if you're not sure where to start, I made a short video that walks you through how to create a welcome video for your website, even if you're not great on camera. You can watch that video right here.